From Sonic the Hedgehog to Mortal Kombat to Elysia Dragoon, which is the best game for the Genesis Mega Drive? Here is my top 5. Number 5. Castle of Illusion starring Mickey Mouse. Castle of Illusion is a side-scrolling platformer in which the player takes control of Mickey Mouse as he goes inside the Castle of Illusion in order to rescue Minnie Mouse from the evil witch named Miserable, who wants to steal Minnie's youth. Mickey is told that in order to defeat Miserable, he must find the 7 gems of the rainbow. Majority of the 7 gems are kept within various illusion-filled worlds, and they are being guarded by Miserable's henchmen, which are known as Masters of Illusion. Alongside the Masters of Illusion are bizarre creatures such as enchanted mushrooms, toy soldiers, ball juggling unicycle riding clowns, and armoured knights that Mickey must face. After thanking the Castellan and hurrying into the castle's hallway, Mickey begins to search through 5 doors that each lead to a different level. The levels are the Enchanted Forest, Toyland, the Storm, Dessert Factory, the Library, and finally the Castle. Mickey's main method of attack is to perform a bounce while jumping, which can be used to defeat enemies or to bounce upwards towards higher areas. Mickey can also collect projectiles such as apples and marbles to throw at his opponent. There are some various items that earn bonus points, increase the player's health, and grant extra tries. Every level ends in a boss battle against each Master of Illusion, where Mickey can earn a gem, although the final 2 levels award a gem halfway through. After clearing all 5 levels and attaining all gems will open up the route to the Witch's Tower. There, the player faces the final boss, a giant and youthful version of Miserable. Number 4. Desert Strike, released by Electronic Arts in February 1992. Desert Strike is a shoot-'em-up game in which the player pilots an AH-64 Apache helicopter. The game is less frantic than a typical shoot-'em-ups, with the addition of greater strategic elements. The action takes place on an open, multi-directional scrolling levels, viewed from an isometric perspective. The player views the action from outside the helicopter, rather than from within the cockpit. The player is also assisted by their co-pilot, who they can pick up at the start of the mission. Each co-pilot plays differently within different skill levels. The best co-pilot is Lieutenant Carlos Jake Valdez. He is missing in action at the start of the game, but can be found and rescued during one of the missions. Levels consist of several missions which are based around the destruction of enemy weapons and installations, as well as rescuing hostages or prisoners of war, or capturing enemy personnel. The Apache is armed with a machine gun, more powerful Hydra rockets, and yet more deadly Hellfire missiles. The more powerful the weapon, the fewer can be carried. The player must choose an appropriate weapon for each situation. Enemy weapons range from soldiers with small arms to anti-aircraft missiles to tanks and armoured cars. I like this game, but let me know in the comment section below what you think of this game. Number 3. Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat is a fighting game developed and published by Midway in 1992. As the first title in the Mortal Kombat series, it was subsequently released by Acclaim Entertainment for nearly every home platform of the time. The game focused on several characters of various intentions who enter a martial arts tournament with worldly consequences. It introduced many key aspects of the Mortal Kombat series, including a unique 5-button control scheme and gory finishing moves called fatalities. Mortal Kombat became the best-selling game and remains one of the most popular fighting games in the game's history, spawning numerous sequels and spin-offs over the following years and decades, beginning with Mortal Kombat 2 in 1993, and together with the first sequel was subject of a successful film adaptation in 1995. However, it sparked much controversy for its depiction of extreme violence and gore using realistic, digitized graphics, resulting in the introduction of age-specific content descriptor ratings for video games. Mortal Kombat is a fighting game in which players battle opponents in one-on-one matches. The fighter that completely drains the opponent's health bar first wins the round, and the first to win 2 rounds wins the match. Each round is timed. If both fighters still have health remaining when the time runs out, the one with more health wins the round. 2 players can start the game together, or a second player can join in during a single player's game to fight against him or her. If the game was in progress at the time, the winner continues it alone. If not, the winner begins a new game. Let me know in the comment section below if you like this game or not. Number 2, Elysia Dragoon. Elysia Dragoon is a 1992 platform game developed by Game Arts for the Sega Genesis. The player controls Elysia, a young woman who is on a quest to revenge her father and save the world. She can fire lightning from her hands and summon 4 faithful beasts to aid her. The game was published outside of Japan by Sega. Despite acclaim the game received, it was not a commercial success. The game is also included on the Sega Genesis Mini, released in September 2019. In Elysia Dragoon, the player controls the protagonist, Elysia, in her quest to save the world by defeating the evil forces that killed her father. The game consists of 8 levels of side-scrolling environments. Elysia jumps across gaps and kills enemies that stand in her way. Each stage is completed by defeating the boss at the end. Elysia attacks by shooting streaks of lightning from her hands. The attack automatically targets enemies in range, but gets weaker with every volley as Elysia's power is depleted. Her power recharges when she stops attacking. When fully charged, it allows her to unleash a multi-target attack, hitting every enemy on the screen. The energy system introduces an element of strategy, encouraging the player to manage Elysia's power to have her able to defend herself at critical moments. Helping Elysia on her quest are her pet monsters. These creatures fly around the heroine on their own, attacking her foes and blocking enemy attacks from hitting her. There are 4 pets, each with its own type of attack. I love this game, especially the soundtrack to it. I think it is awesome. Let me know in the comment section below if you have played this game before and what do you think of it. And at number 1, Sonic the Hedgehog. Well, it had to be. Sonic the Hedgehog, developed by Sonic Team and published by Sega for the Sega Genesis home video game console. It was released in North America in June 1991 and in PAL regions and Japan the following month. The game features an anthropomorphic hedgehog named Sonic in a quest to defeat Dr. Robotnik, a scientist who has imprisoned animals in robots and stolen the powerful Chaos Emeralds. The gameplay involves collecting rings as form of health and a simple control scheme, with jumping and attacking controlled by a single button. Sonic the Hedgehog is a 2D side-scrolling platform video game. The gameplay centers around Sonic's ability to run at high speed through the levels that include springs, slopes, bottomless pits and vertical leaps. The levels are populated with hazards in the form of robots, inside which Dr. Robotnik has trapped animals. Destroying the robot frees the creature, but is not necessary to complete the game. The player must also avoid touching spikes, falling into bottomless pits, and being crushed by moving walls or platforms, as well as drowning, which may be prevented by breathing air bubbles from vents. Sonic's main means of attack is the spin attack, in which he curls into a ball and rapidly spins his body, damaging enemies and certain obstacles upon collision. This may be performed by jumping or by rolling on the ground. At the start of the game, the player is given 3 lives, each of which may be lost if Sonic collides with hazardous enemies or objects while in possession of no rings, falls to the bottom of the level screen, or exceeds the Axe 10-minute time limit. Sonic is definitely the game you think of when you think of the Genesis Mega Drive. The game is just awesome, and the soundtrack is. Let me know in the comment section below what your top 5 are. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new. And if you like the video, please hit the like button. Thank you and goodbye.